Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors, your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad you're with us this Wednesday morning. Can you believe this time next week we're in March already? And the weather today is beautiful. Brought to us by Untitled Technical Center. It's 58 degrees here in Panama City, 52 in Mariana, and 58 down in East Point. And also a little bit cooler today than it was yesterday. A little front come through, going to be a little bit drier. High today 72 and low tonight 54. So we cannot ask for any better weather. Excellent weather. The water temperature is what's fascinating me. Is up to 60 degrees. Now, folks, it hadn't done this. It's sort of a boom. Last Friday, when I was just checking my notes, last Friday, the water temperature was 55 degrees. Today's Wednesday, it's going up. It jumped 3, then 1, then 1. So it's going up 5 degrees. So that's fascinating. Marine forecast, winds out of northeast, and then going to switch out to southeast to 5 to 10. The seas 1 to 2, and a smooth to light chop on protected waters. The river readings. The Apalachicola at Bluntstown level off at 6.3. They haven't printed our projections. I mean, it hadn't been on the computer, so we hadn't been able to print it the last couple of nights what it's projected, but it does look like it's leveled off at 6.3 at Apalachicola at Bluntstown, and then the Choctawhatchee at Caraville is 4.8, and it's level off. So the river this weekend should be in excellent condition. The high tide in Panama City is 12:41 today, and low will be 12:11 right from midnight tonight. The St. Joe high tide is 1:14 after lunch and low at 12:16 tonight. Now, talked to Blair 2 days ago. Blair's going out of town. He's up in Georgia for a couple of days. But I did get a good report Sunday. Stopped by and visited Alan Duke. Y'all know Captain Alan Duke. He is now in charge of Presnell's fish camp down there in St. Joe Bay. And by the way, they're redoing it. The bathrooms have completely been redone. The campground's it's been set up really nice. And if you want to make reservations now for scallop season, you need to get on the phone and do it right away because they fill up. Some of the same people come back every year. But anyway, Alan's fishing report, we talked about fishing. We sat down on the front porch and talked about fishing. He said the best bet on these low tide mornings, when it's low tide, to hit those potholes in St. Joe Bay. He said good luck doing that, but once the tide starts coming in, they're going to get out of those potholes. But they really get concentrated, those trout, really get concentrated in those potholes. But he actually caught his fish, though, up in the canal on Saturday afternoon on a good trip. So caught some nice speckled trout, he said. All right, that's our Blue Water Outrigger report from St. Joe Bay, and we'll take our first break and be right back. If you got any kind of old trailer at the house that needs repair, need to bring it down to AMW. I have a huge supply of trailer and trailer parts, always on hand, anything you need. If you see this label on any boat trailer at any boat landing, you can guarantee yourself that you're looking at a fine quality made trailer. AMW Trailers, right here in the big blue building in beautiful downtown Millville. They've been doing trailers and trailer parts since 1954, 3 generations of the same family.
Harold Milling Company, rough and tough dog food. Harold Milling Company builds it. They build hog feed, they build dairy feed, they make chicken feed. They have specialty feeds for rabbits. If you got a worm farm, grandmother used to have a worm farm. Look at that, Harold Milling Company. You want to go down and get you, the dog's not running anymore. That's all over with. You want to get that 16% and drop down from the 26% protein. You don't want over to get fat. Harold Milling Company, you can buy at almost any feed store in the Panama City area.
Silly Willy Lures. Catch fish. Throw it at redfish or speckled trout or mackerel or anything that comes swimming by. Try the Pompano swim jigs. Add some shrimp and you've got a fish catching machine. Silly Willy spoons and jigs and Pompano swim jigs from Fish on Lures. Check them out at CaptainJoeFishing.com. Good lures, good prices. You'll find them at better bait and tackle shops. Silly Willy Lures. Sounds silly. Catches fish.
Rainbow Plastics manufactures an assortment of fishing tackle for trolling, casting, and bait fishing. Cast your favorite fly, jig, or live bait like a shot with extreme accuracy with adjust-a-bubble floats, available in a variety of sizes and colors. Fish as a stationary float or use as a slip float to obtain the desired depth. Adjust-a-bubble float by Rainbow Plastics, made in the USA, putting quality and innovation above all else. Ask for it at your favorite tackle store or buy online at rainbowplastics.com.
Welcome back. Glad you're with us, coming to you live from downtown Panama City, Fox 28 Studios. I'm going to do a short segment here because we have a pretty good video, about a 10-minute video, so I want to get into it real quick. But got a couple old pictures. Y'all know how I love old pictures and all. And Bruce Mixon, I saw him Monday over in Freeport. He gave me these pictures, and I want to show you, just share them with you. Folks, this is Destin, the Destin Harbor. It's changed a lot since the old days. The old black and white picture of the Destin Harbor, and development is that's as it was back in the 50s, okay? And this next picture, it has changed a lot. This next picture just fascinated me. Look at this right here, folks. You're talking about a good fishing trip. This is Captain Bruce Marla on the old boat, the Wahoo boat, coming out of Destin. Now count them, 1, 2, 3, 4 sailfish. Now, is that a pretty good trip on a one-day trip there out of Destin? That's how it used to be back in those days out of Captain Bruce Marla there. Thanks, Bruce, for sharing those. And folks, if you have any old black and white pictures, you know, I actually did a book collecting old black and white pictures. I still collect those old pictures. It's fascinating. One day we'll have a museum here or something. But anyway, if you have any, I sure would like to share them with, you know, get a copy and share them with the viewers. And also my students enjoy seeing this. So I'd like to collect them. Also, two other things. The Ballad of the Lost Boys of East Bay. I have the words to it. That was the old hurricane of 1894 that wiped out the East Bay community, drowned 14 of the men over there. If you have the tune to that, anybody in the family sang it. I had a lady told me one time years ago in Carabel, she remembered her mother humming it at the kitchen sink. So I would love to get the, I've got the words to, also the words to, I have the words to the Tate's Hell song, the Ballad of Tate's Hell. I have those words and music. So if y'all know how those tunes go, contact me, and I'd love to get those and put them together and share them with our viewing audience. Okay? Let's take our break and we'll be right back.
Come on down to Blue Water Outrigger, where you'll always find friendly service, fresh and saltwater fishing rods, top of the line men's and women's apparel. Don't forget to pick up your live baits and let us help you with all your outdoor needs. Check out our wide selection of top quality reels and hunting necessities and everything in between. Come see us or order online. We'll be waiting for you right next door to Piggly Wiggly, Port St. Joe.
When you're looking for sales, parts, and service for your outboard, all in one location, you're looking for BJ's Marine, your authorized Tohatsu and Nissan dealer. BJ's Marine does it all. They have outboard parts and a service center and used motor sales too. Tohatsu, reliable, dependable, fuel efficient, and lightweight. Tohatsu Outboards, technology for the next generation. BJ's Marine, 1317 Transmitter Road since 1991. You know what folks like best about Coram Steak and Eggs? Just about everything. Willie and Linda Coram have been in business a long time. They know how to take care of their customers with great food and great service. Better than being at home. You don't have to do the dishes. It's all good, but be sure and check out their heavenly hash. That's what Coram Steak and Eggs is famous for. Coram Steak and Eggs, 804 South Tyndall Parkway. Open 24/7.
Hey everybody, this is Brad Stevens coming to you from Sunjammers Water Sports on Highway 79. You know us for your fishing kayaks and all your sailing needs. What you may not know is that we stock a full line of inshore and offshore tackle, specializing in the Captain Joe fish-on lures. We stock his grouper baits, his SS minnows, his shredders, along with all of your gulp baits, Joe jigs, the edge hook, your U-Pro rods, and live bait. Come see us at Sunjammers Water Sports, 315 North Highway 79.
And we're back. I want to, first of all, let me go and, I'm going to give this away during the video. It's going to be a free cup of coffee, okay, a free mug from Express Lane, and also this is the last shirt I have of this color on Panhandle Outdoors, okay. We're going to give these three items away to one viewer, but now you got to do something for it, so don't call right now. I'm going to have to tell you what to do. But let me introduce this video. Monday we went up to Freeport, my wife and I did, and met with Miss Christy Scally and the E.O. Wilson Biophilia Center, folks. That is a fascinating place. I showed this video to my class yesterday. This is a video they have done. I'm going to show this video today, and then tomorrow I'm going to show the video that we did. And it is, we're going to spend 2 days on this because I just think it's so worthwhile. We're talking about 48,000 acres of land between Bruce and Freeport off Highway 20, and it's it was just, it was awesome. I know it's a much overused word. So we're going to get started on it, and we're going to talk more about it, but I'm going to give this away now. But before, I want to show you this picture. I want you to identify this fish. This was sent to me by Captain Scott Lindsay. He caught this fish on a fly rod this past summer. I want you to win this prize now. Call me during the video and identify what kind of fish that is. It's a fish that's caught here locally, so it's not an exotic fish. So call me during the video. We're going to start this video. It's a great video, professionally done, and it starts off with a good friend of mine, as I told my class, that introduces it. So here we go.
Introduce you to a friend of mine, one of the most remarkable men I've ever met. He is a naturalist by trade, and he's written a score of books, powerful and poetic, revealing his profound understanding of the natural world. He's a very wise man, a modern-day prophet, and his life is a real adventure story, culminating in an epic battle to save our planet. His name is Ed Wilson, and his life story is the story of life.
Ed Wilson is a magic name to many of us working in the natural world for two reasons. First, he is a towering example of a specialist, a world authority. Nobody in the world has ever known as much as Ed Wilson about ants.
He's a scientist with over 400 published papers, but he writes like a poet. What sets him apart is his unified picture of life. He explores the continuum that extends from subatomic particles and chemical interactions to consciousness and culture. The wellspring for this unity of knowledge began with his boyhood adventures in Alabama. Nature soon cast an everlasting spell.
I had the great good fortune of spending a large part of my boyhood wandering through beautiful mixed woods of South Alabama. You can see it's so rich in living creatures that I soon was picking up on it, looking at every frog and lizard and kind of plants and then insects that I could find. I got a lot of indirect encouragement from my parents, mainly because they gave me freedom. They didn't mind that I was going through what I like to call my little savage period. When I'm now grown up, I'm still basically a boy, but I'm a grown-up naturalist now, and it takes a little effort for me to realize that I and people like me see the world in a different way from others. I see it as a universe of immense diversity.
Like many boys, he had a passion for fishing.
One of my favorites was the pinfish, which has these sharp spines in the dorsal fin. Easy to catch, but I was enthusiastically yanking them up out of the water one after the other when one accidentally came in. Its spine hit me in the eye. I subsequently became blind in an eye. But that combined with my inability to hear very well in the upper register, so I can't hear bird song, meant that, well, I sure wasn't going to be an expert on birds when I got older. So I turned kind of automatically to looking at little things that I can see when holding between my thumb and forefinger, insects and other small creatures. And I became an entomologist, a student of insects. There's the question of why did I pick ants? You know, why not butterflies or whatever? And the answer is that they're so abundant. They're easy to find, and they're easy to study, and they're so interesting. They have social habits that differ from one kind of ant to the next. You know, each kind of ant has almost the equivalent of a different human culture. So each species is a wonderful object to study in itself. In fact, I honestly cannot understand why most people don't study ants.
By choosing an insect with so many different species and such highly organized societies, he had unwittingly set off down a path that would determine his own evolution as a biologist. At the age of 13, he was the first person to identify a new invasive species in Alabama, the red fire ant from South America. Later, when he was still in college, the state of Alabama asked him to write a report on the fire ant invasion. In 1951, he came to study at Harvard's Museum of Comparative Zoology, and he's been there ever since.
Here is a nest of the infamous fire ant. Mound nest of something like 200,000 vicious, stinging little workers in it. And I'm going to demonstrate now why it's called a fire ant. Now, don't do this at home. First, I'll scrape this off and get them coming up. And pretty soon, those ants are boiling out of there, fighting mad. They're ready to sting and defeat any enemy that comes in. And I'm going to make myself the enemy just for a few seconds. So here we go. All right, now if you look, you'll see a lot of them beginning to pause and sting my hand. Each one of those stings feels like the touch of a hot needle. And now, pardon me, I'm going to get rid of these ants in a hurry.
When M.C. Davis and Sam Shine established Nokuse Plantation near the towns of Freeport and Bruce in central Walton County, they had more than large-scale conservation of Northwest Florida's biological wealth in mind. They knew they also had to teach people about the area's historic biodiversity and the important role it plays in sustainability. Nokuse Plantation, a 48,000-acre private conservation initiative, is the site of the E.O. Wilson Biophilia Center. It is through this spectacular learning facility that this mission and education will be fulfilled. At the Biophilia Center, students of all ages will gaze into the eyes of nature. Here, they will experience the awakening of their own biophilia.
We're going to encourage and insist that everybody get out, walk it, wade it, swim it, and crawl through it.
The piecing together of large parts of land that are going to be invaluable in the future for conservation, for science, for education.
If you're going to change behavior, the only reason you'll do that voluntarily is through education.
I think the people that really make our things work in our world today are people who love nature and love the environment.
This is a phenomenal opportunity to take information about this ecosystem to a global level.
The STEM subjects, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, will be interrelated.
The Biophilia Center offers a wide open resource for us in terms of classroom experiences, either virtually or personally, for students and for teachers.
It's just a tremendous asset for a region like Northwest Florida to have this added to the resources.
In school, growing up, every once in a while, you'd have a great teacher who actually let you participate and interact. And I felt that I learned through osmosis. I forgot all about that I was studying or learning. I was having so much fun and being fascinated with it. And that's really the atmosphere that we're going to create here. And our goal is that with this, that every child will leave our system feeling a little bit like a naturalist.
I believe that as time passes, especially having wild areas like this where you can actually see the world as it exists apart from humanity is going to be a very large attraction for people, that they will count it high on their list of things that improve the quality of life.
This is such an arduous task, this trying to save biodiversity, and we all know we can only do that through our children, and so our children can only do it if they're armed with the knowledge and the passion. So that's that's a daunting task, so it takes a big team. I mean, it takes parents, it takes scientists and educators, entrepreneurs, and the government. So all together we can collaborate and make such a team, and this can happen, and it will happen.
It is not our goal to transform all students into scientists. Rather, we seek to guide children to an awakening through which a love of life is born. With live animal exhibits, interactive displays, programs, outdoor classrooms, and nature trails, children leave the center feeling at least a little like naturalists. And this facility will reach well beyond its walls with cyber-enabled programs, links for students to communicate with scientists, teacher training programs, and worldwide access to learn about biodiversity. As today's youth grow into leaders, teachers, business people, politicians, and more, their decisions will be influenced by the environmental education they received here. We would like to build on each person's innate propensity for this love of life, our affinity and fascination for the wonders of nature that is part of our consciousness as human beings. This is biophilia.
Did you know ethanol-enhanced fuel can damage your outboard and inboard engines plus reduce mileage? Here at Pier 98, we have non-ethanol fuel by land or sea with dockside parking for boats up to 50 feet. Pier 98 also is your one-stop convenience store with full deli and all your fishing and boating needs, including bait and tackle. Our live bait includes shrimp, bull minnows, and chauffeurs. Pier 98 is on Tyndall Parkway, 1 mile before DuPont Bridge, and open at 4 a.m. We are family-owned and operated and here to serve you.
My name's Captain Rick Corley. I'm a SAMS accredited Marine Surveyor, NAM certified Marine Surveyor, and IAME certified Marine Investigator. Been surveying since 1969. Was taught by my father, who is the oldest, longest practicing Marine Surveyor in the world. We do all types of survey, commercial or pleasure. Steel, aluminum, fiberglass, wood, makes no difference. Give us a call at 850-527-5287 or visit us online. We'd appreciate your visits.
You see a lawn. We see a whole new way to mow it. Introducing the new Kubota GR with revolutionary glide steer technology. It's the first to combine the power of a four-wheel drive tractor with the feel of a zero-turn mower. So you can mow up with more traction, down with more stability, and all around with greater precision. The all-new Kubota GR with glide steer. You gotta see this for yourself.
See the new Kubota tractors at Soul Tractor today.
When it comes to the shooting sports, the headquarters for this area for over 57 years has been C&G Sporting Goods. When you need firearms for hunting, target shooting, self-protection, home protection, or if you're a gun collector, C&G's friendly, knowledgeable sales staff is ready to help you make the right selection. C&G buys, sells, and trades guns. C&G will buy one gun or a collection. Look over this area's largest selection of quality firearms. C&G Sporting Goods, home of the experts.
Welcome back. Hope you enjoy that. That's cool. But first, let's announce a winner. And that was a grass carp. I had several calls. Some people guessed sturgeon and all. But Frank Pate out of Springfield. Watch the show every morning. Glad you do, Frank. And we picked that up here locally at Fox 28. Let's look at our Express Lane Fish and Game forecast for today, brought to us by Express Lane, guaranteed located somewhere close to you in the Panhandle out here. Time 4:16 this morning to 6:16. You still got time to go wet a hook or go outside, look at the birds. And this afternoon, 4:44 till 6:44. Okay? Now, I have a few minutes left. I want to talk real quick about the Biophilia Center. Like I say, it was just fascinating. Now, it's not open, quote, to the public. What they're doing is they're bringing in 4th graders and 7th graders from the 5-county area. And the reason they're doing that, and I had my class try to guess what it was, and they did guess it, because when these kids are 5th graders and 8th graders, they're taking the FCAT science. So they're getting out there and getting a hands-on science experience like they were talking about. I was just fascinated with Mr. E.O. Wilson, or Professor Wilson. Still been at Harvard since 1951, but grew up in the woods of South Alabama, and that's in South Alabama and North Florida woods are the same. You know, they really, and any of you out there and that love nature and love the environment, like I know all of y'all do, because I talk to a lot of y'all. That is so important. That's right here in our backyard. 48,000 acres, and they're going to have this open house, okay? Put this on your calendar. I've already put it on my calendar. The open house now, it'll be in celebration of Earth Day. It's a Nokuse Plantation, and that's going to be, it's going to be Saturday, April the 9th, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. They're going to ask for a $5 donation to help run that because it's a great cause, and I'm just really looking forward to it. Okay, now let's talk about fishing real quick. People are asking, what can you catch this time of year? We're sort of in this transition period we talked about last week. Well, freshwater, really the hottest thing, bass fishing been good, of course, and speckled perch, we've talked about that. But one we haven't talked about is red horse sucker fishing. Last part of February, first part of March, early spring, those red horse sucker are leaving these creeks, going up leaving the rivers and going up in these creeks, and a lot of people, they gig them, they snatch hook them, they're all kinds of different ways. Some people just catch them with dog food out there over in Black Creek area. So anyway, the red horse sucker fishing is starting to heat up. And it's excellent eating, and my dad took me when I was a little kid. I never have forgotten those night going out there at night doing that. And also in saltwater, the biggest thing going on now, and the sheephead, they're cousins to the red horse sucker as far as their behavior. The sheephead, we got that call Tuesday morning live on the show that the sheephead started biting at the end of the pier. They'd been watching them for 2 weeks and all. So that's one of the hottest things going right now. The sheephead are starting to gather up. And I can promise you within the next week or two at the jetties, the rocks out there at the jetties, there are going to be huge schools coming in there, and you're going to see the captains and the guides out there. And we're not giving away any secrets because there'll be 10 or 15 boats at least out there in one area, and they'll be spawning around those rocks and all. So they're a lot of fun to catch. The sheephead is good eating, and they also pull really strong. So this weekend, the weather looking good, it might be a good chance to do either one of those two kind of fishing, okay? I'm going to run out of time again. One of the things, I showed this video to my class yesterday, and they loved it. And tomorrow now we're going to talk more about this and show the video we did. And Miss Christy Scally was just such a great hostess and all. She's an Auburn grad and has a great knowledge of this and a great passion for this. And we just had a great time. So tomorrow, tune in. We're going to watch the second part of this presentation here. I got to get out of here, folks. Got school today. We're going to hope you have a good day. And you be sure to do something good for somebody. Make outdoors part of your world. God bless.
Thanks for joining us for Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors features hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.